LSU,
Oh, man.
Alabama, night game, Baton Rouge. Man, I can't wait for this one. We've got Alabama -3. Dylan, start me off.
A couple notes. Well, you know what? Let's start positional breakdowns. Break down the position
we're
groups.
going there first.
Yeah, let's go there first. Let's
Okay.
go. Are we okay with that?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can do that.
Okay. Quarterback, Alabama.
I don't even know.
Running
I
back,
vote
Alabama.
tie.
Can we
I vote
put a
tie.
caveat? Quarterback in Death Valley at night, LSU.
I don't think I have.
I think it's a tie.
I have something for that, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna. I don't know. I'm going quarterback, Alabama. Running back, Alabama. Wide receiver, Alabama. Defensive line, Alabama. Secondary, Alabama. The only advantage I give LSU here is the offensive line. Any qualms?
That's
Connor?
tough.
I don't know.
You
I
can
agree
maybe
with-
make a case for LSU's defensive line. I think that one's pretty close, but
Wide
the others, I don't
receivers,
know.
maybe?
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
There's a reason this is a 3-point spread, though, Connor.
Yeah, I like how we're all wearing black today. Ben was wearing black before he left the show, and then us three are wearing
Oh,
black.
it's a funeral for this country.
No, it's
Oh.
Alabama's funeral. It's Alabama's funeral.
Wow.
Because after this weekend, they will be out of the college football playoff. They'll have 3 losses, and Jalen Milroe is going to be talked about as, wait, he had another 2-3 turnover game at LSU. LSU's winning this game.
Wow. LSU's winning this game.
So,
Because another
yeah.
underrated part about this, too, is we talked about this all preseason, Connor. If Kalen DeBoer and Alabama lose this game at LSU, they're likely knocked out of the college football playoff. How fast are they running him out of town?
Well, you're gonna see people call for his head. That's gonna be the case for any Alabama loss. That's just how that fan base reacts. The thing with Alabama this year is, yeah, they dominated Missouri before the bye week, but Missouri is frauds. We know that. I don't want to put too much stock into that. Remember the Tennessee game. Remember they almost lost to South Carolina. Remember they did lose to Vanderbilt. That's the real Alabama team that I expect to show up this weekend. LSU's 2 losses are on the road. Garrett Nussmeier and LSU, different team at home. Nussmeier's been good at home this year. You look at the splits, it really tells you that. And Bama's 2 losses are on the road. They failed to generate pressure in those games on the road. 3 sacks at UT, 0 sacks versus Vandy. They didn't touch Pavia one time that game. I think if Nussmeier has time to throw, which I think he will, Alabama gives up so many explosive plays down the field. I like LSU in this spot. And then you have to factor in, I bet against LSU at night at home against Ole Miss, and I lost. I shouldn't have, but I lost that bet. I'm not doing it again. Weird things happen at Death Valley at 7:30 at night. I think we're probably due for another Milroe game-winning drive, and then he throws a pick. Like,
Ole Miss should have won that game, too. That's what sucks.
I think so, too. But you have to account for that. I like LSU +3 here. That's too many points, and I'm going to take them to win outright.
Wow, going both dogs.
I am. Dogs are barking. Bama gives up too many explosive plays. I think Nussmeier will have time to throw, and I think there's going to be some big PI penalties and just receivers open down the field. There was a big nerdy stat. I didn't even write it down. Basically, it said the SEC gives up the most explosive plays in the SEC.
I'll piggyback off it, Connor. There is no way on earth I'm taking a road favorite at Baton Rouge at night. If I'm going to bet this game, it's going to be LSU. I haven't decided. I'm going to pick LSU, but I'm not taking a road favorite at night in Death Valley.
No shot.
I'm not. This is just, it's a death trap if you do it.
Big Brian Kelly guys, huh?
No.
Oh,
Well,
sounds like you're backing him in this.
Bama yards per play almost a whole yard lower on the road than at home. So,
Okay. All right. Well, here, listen. LSU loves to pass. You've said that, Connor. The explosives are there for LSU. You think that they can get it done on Alabama's secondary. I do not think that it will happen. Bama's guys in coverage are better equipped to handle LSU's receivers than LSU's secondary is to handle Alabama's. You look at numbers under pressure. Jalen Milroe absolutely clears Nussmeier, even though their numbers are pretty average when they're both kept clean. I think that's the difference in this game. Bama has a much more balanced attack. They don't rely as heavily on the pass. The argument that I'm going to be met with is that, well, of course it has to be more balanced. Jalen Milroe is not a good quarterback, but I think he makes a couple big plays here. We know what his ceiling is. He can get it done with his legs. If the pocket collapses, he can extend it, and the numbers say he's a better quarterback than Nussmeier when under pressure. I'm going to back that every time. Is it a problem, or does it worry me that the last time Alabama went on the road in a big environment, they lost Tennessee? Yeah. I don't think it happens again. I take Alabama to cover the 3. I'm going Alabama here.
Dylan. If this game was a noon or a 3:30 kickoff in Tuscaloosa or on a neutral field, I'll take Alabama. I will be the first to admit that, and I want that included in any clickbait that we put out there.
Clickbait
At night in LSU in Death Valley, I will not bet against them. I can't do it. Not in a spot like this where it is lose or leave town. It's a huge game. And I'm not a believer in Jalen Milroe, period. I'm not a believer in Jalen Milroe. I'm on the record saying that. I don't think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback.
He's winning the Heisman.
Stop.
I still have a little left in my Milroe belief tank. There's still a little bit in there for me. And one other thing,
I needed to see against Tennessee. I don't care about the Missouri game.
I think one last thing I want to bring up that I think will end up being pretty important is Keenan and Overton on Alabama's defensive line. They're by far the 2 best pass rushers, and they line up great on the right side of the offensive line for LSU that is extremely weak. Jones Jr., right tackle, not great. I think that could cause some problems for Nussmeier. Nussmeier, I don't know if you can find a sportsbook for this, might poop his pants in the middle of the game, seeing those guys running right in his face. Might poop his pants.
So Alabama, outside of the Missouri game, which we know who Missouri is, in the first half of Georgia, if the rest of it is not pretty.
There's been more spots where it's been not pretty for Alabama than it has been convincing. I will say that, and especially with Jalen Milroe as well. There's been more spots where it's like, wait, he did what? He threw a pick to who?
And I understand you can talk about pressure rates and all this stuff, and maybe Jalen Milroe, sure, yeah, he's better under pressure, but that Tennessee game, I can't get it out of my mind, but then you have to factor in Tennessee is one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
But I don't trust Jalen Milroe on the road at night in Death Valley. I don't.
Me neither. That's the number one factor for me. Nussmeier is so much better at home. I'm going to trust him again.
You know what my dream is for this game?
What, a tie?
No, the loser of this game ends up losing the following week, and so neither of these teams make the playoff.
And that's what should happen.
That's fair. That's fair.
I will root for that. I've been on the Alabama missed the playoff train all year.
Yeah.
We're wearing black. It's a funeral.
Hopefully.
Score predictions?
Hopefully. Score predictions. LSU, Alabama. Dylan.
Alabama 27, LSU 17.
Connor.
I'm gonna go a close one. LSU 28, Alabama 24.
I'm gonna go LSU 31, Alabama 28.
Close
I
game.
feel like there might be a weird score in there though.
There's going to be this game's going to come down to the last possession, and it's going to be either a turnover or a game-winning drive or a blocked kick. It's going to be something weird. This game's going to be close. I feel pretty good about that.